live again for another episode of Inside the Mind of. My name is Ken Somera, and we are at episode 18 already. And we are gonna talk about, of course, what my passions, my favorite topic, neuro linguistic programming. Okay, and we have our special guest right now, and sobrang solid kasi he is an international certified master NLP trainer. Okay, an NLP trainer, an Ericksonian hypnosis practitioner, and ang dami natin pwedeng matutunan for this session. So, we'll be talking about NLP. Of course, what is NLP? We'll be talking about how it can help you with what you're going through, like even depression, stress. You want to learn faster. We'll be working with anchors, neuro linguistic programming anchors. Let's talk about that later. As we go deeper, we'll also talk about submodalities, meta models, and Milton models. So let's welcome our guest, Mikhail Paulus. Hi, sir. Hi.
Hello, Ken. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you
Okay.
there?
I'm fine here.
Yeah, so he's currently in Davao right now. So a good question. How long have you been here in the Philippines? Yeah.
I've been here now for a little bit more than 4 years
Mm,
in
nice. So,
Davao. Yeah,
so you went straight to Davao. Have you gone to Manila?
I only was in Manila when I had to go to
The
Davao
airplane.
because you have to go to Manila and then you have to fly to Davao. Now,
Nice, nice.
the first time I was here is now around about 7 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then I met my wife here.
Oh.
Not yet my wife, but it became my wife. After some time, we married, and it was, of course, yeah, a lot of going, coming, going, coming, going, coming. And after 6 times going, coming, I thought, well, this has been enough. I'm gonna sell everything what I have in Holland, by
Oh.
coming to the Netherlands, and then
Mm-hmm.
I will stay here.
So,
And I,
yeah, in regards to our topic for today, I mean, as you also know, I'm also a fan of NLP. We both are fans of NLP. I love it. Tell us something. What led you to where you are now? Your passion and training. What's your story?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear. Perfect.
Loud and clear. I have no visual anymore. Wait.
Oh yeah, just check on. Yeah, it's moving. Here, it's all good on my end. Yeah, all
Yeah,
good.
you're already in another meeting. No. Sign in, join a meeting. I don't know what's happening, but
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Yeah, your visual and audio was good. No worries.
but I don't see you anymore.
Oh, okay. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah, I see you. Yeah, you're back.
oh,
Yeah, okay.
okay, we're perfect.
I
Perfect.
don't know.
Okay,
I don't know what's happening. Okay.
it's perfectly fine. That's how Facebook works. So
Okay.
yeah,
What was your question?
yeah. The question is, yeah, tell us your story. What led you to where you are now? Your passion and
Yeah.
training and helping other people. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm already 60 years old,
Mhm.
and I started my life with music. I'm a musician. I play piano. I'm a piano teacher and guitar teacher. I studied classical guitar in Holland, in
Oh.
the Netherlands, at the conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I did also other courses like choir conductor,
Hmm.
and I also did complete training to be a teacher in high school, elementary school, specialist for music teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've always been interested in psychology, things like that. And yeah, one of the things that was I didn't like from the most book is it's always about diseases. It's always about mental disorders,
Uh-huh.
and it's always about big problems. And I don't know how I get in touch with NLP, but one day I was in the library, and I'm talking now about 22 years ago, and there were two books of NLP. So I borrowed them both and started to read in it, and yeah, it was very interesting because it's positive. It's about how to achieve excellence.
Excellence, yeah.
Excellence, how to model. I believe I had a small book of Anthony Robbins, and yeah, I was reading, and I was working in a school, and there was a principal, a head of a school, or he was a vice head, not really, but this was a man, was very rude, not really, I could not really have a nice conversation with him, and he only invited you to his office when there was a problem.
Yeah.
And I also was there when someone came out of his office, teacher, crying. So it was really a very,
a scary feeling.
Scary, man. It was. I think he didn't know how to make rapport. Yeah. So
yeah, for someone to go out crying, yeah, that's something.
Yeah. So and especially talking about anchors, he has a special perfume, a very strong perfume. So you could, if he came in the corridors, you could smell him already for 4 to 5 meters. Oh, there he is. So it's more a trigger. In fact, it's not an anchor, it's a trigger to bad experience. And the problem was, that was before I did something with NLP, that you take a man like that home. When you finish your school, and you had a conversation with him, then you keep it home, you keep on thinking about it. And it's very hard, if you don't know anything about NLP, to stop thinking, to stop the inner dialogue. But then I was reading in the book about submodalities. And I said, why not? I'm going to try it. So I was thinking, how am I thinking about this man? Well, I imagined how he looked like, and what was my inner representation. And that was a moment I was just sitting somewhere where you sit sometimes, and I was just thinking, I'm going to try it now. So I thought, well, let's put the image I have, I'm going to put it far away from me, and then I make it black. Then you know what? I take the picture far away, and I put it behind me. I just put it out of my visual. I cannot see it anymore. I was finished there, and I started to do the things that I was doing, maybe playing guitar, or maybe looking at the work of the students. And after a few hours, I realized that he was out of my mind. I didn't think about him anymore. So that was the moment I realized, so this really works. If you change things in your head, then you don't think about it anymore. And that was for me the moment that I thought, I want to know more about NLP, and I'm going to contact an institute in Rotterdam. I was living 35 kilometers from Rotterdam. It was then the Tharasat Institute, one of the first in the Netherlands. She was trained, maybe you know her, by Anne Linde. Anne Linde from the New York Institute of NLP.
Oh yeah, I haven't heard of her yet. But
anyway, I went there, and there I started my first practitioner. I was very lucky that one of the schools where I was working, I went to this head of, it's another school. I went to the head of the school, and he said, we always want to support our staff and teachers. So what do you want to study? I said, NLP. He said, NLP, what is this? He said, well, I said, this is neuro-linguistic programming. He said to me, so you want to do something with computers? I said,
yeah, that's the first thing that people think about. Yeah.
No, this is about psychology. This is about, so I try to explain, like, self-development, and I said, oh, anyway, it's good. We will pay 1/3. So, and they were at that moment, it was already quite expensive in Holland to do training. So it was quite good. So I started with the practitioner. After that, I waited sometimes just to let it go in what I learned in the practitioner. By the way, so it was very long. In Holland, at that institute is not anymore with the same trainer. The trainer now has another institute, but her trainings are 23 days.
23 days. Wow.
For
I was thinking that 16 days is long enough. But yeah, 23 days is longer. Yeah. For a practitioner. That's nice.
And complete official with the last 2 days is with a written exam. And it was really an exam. She almost asked everything. Just write down all the anchor methods and describe them. Describe exactly the 6 steps reframing.
6-step reframe. Yeah, that's
everything. And then the second day was doing it. You get a client, and the client has a problem, and then first you have to make rapport, and then with the meta program, asking questions to refine, to chunk down, to really find out what is happening. Is he generalizing things? What is he deleting, etc., etc. And then you had to set up a program and do it with what are you going to do? Anchoring, submodalities, make your plan, make an outcome. So everything was in the exam. Anyway, after that, I wait some time just to practice and then to do some things with it. Not so much in that time, because I just had my job in schools. And then I think within 1 year, I went back for the master, and then the postmaster. I also did. That was when someone came from the United States. The hypnotherapy from Milton Erickson was also
hypnotherapy. Yeah, that's what I got certified for. Conversational hypnosis.
Yeah. It was also 2 weeks, and then the trainer's training, presentation training, assistants, master practitioner assistant, master assistant, and so on. And finally, here I am. And here I came to Davao, and I tried in the beginning with someone. He had big plans. He was a teacher. He said, "Oh, that's good for schools," but then big plans, and then you don't hear anything anymore. And then via my guitar teaching, I was approached by UIC, the dean of the UIC of the Conservatory of Music, because they lost their guitar teacher.
Okay.
And if I could take it over anyway till the end of the year. And he also saw, because I sent him my CV, NLP, and he also know a little bit about NLP. And he said, maybe you can also do workshops NLP here for students' music, because stage fright. A lot of musicians, the reason why they are not on the stage is
stage
because
fright.
they have stage fright.
Anxiety,
The nerves are so, and I know this because when I was younger, I had it too, that on one hand, you want to show yourself, you want to have performances, you want to play for an audience, to communicate your music. But on the other hand, then when I enter the audience, the auditorium, and I see all those people, especially when you are alone, when you have to play guitar, you're really alone, and people are boom in the front of you, and I was so nervous.
Yeah, I play guitar also, so I understand the hours and hours of practice. You know, when you have to play something, you know, like play a solo, it takes hours and hours, so that you could just master it, get the feel of it, and it's really a good thing for our viewers. If you have kids, it's really a good thing that your kids go into music. It helps a lot with the brain. That's just my point. Yeah, it helped me a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah. So that was a start, and maybe I will the dean of this conservatory in the UIC. Yeah, he's very enthusiastic, and he also wants to start trainings, NLP
Hmm.
workshops, also in other schools with teachers. So I'm a little bit waiting for that now. He was busy now in another project in UIC. When he had finished that, he would contact me again.
Yeah, I think that's really for sure. Since NLP here in the Philippines is actually growing.
Yeah,
I've as you could for our friends that have watched previous episodes, there are really a lot of really good NLP, not just NLP practitioners. There are also some trainers, only a few here in the Philippines that really can train really good NLP, teach NLP how it is done. Because we could both agree on this that I mean everything's online, you know nowadays, but it's the experience and the practice and doing it
yeah.
with a partner face to face that helps you a lot faster to learn it really well. Yeah. So in
You
regards to, yeah,
it's experience. That
experience.
is
Yeah.
also what they ask me. What is NLP? And
Yeah.
NLP, I said, well, in fact, NLP, you can say that's the experience of that's the study of the structure of your inner experience.
That's a nice
Yeah. So I will repeat that. NLP is the study of the
Mhm.
structure of the inner experience. And
Structure of the inner experience. Okay.
yeah, and you can say it in another way, that in fact NLP is a study of everything we do.
Yeah.
Everything we do happens in patterns, but we don't know. Well, unless you study NLP. But normally, all those patterns you have in your life, all those triggers that makes you feel good or make you feel bad, they are triggers and you even don't know.
Hmm.
Submodalities, all your life you have submodalities in your head. It's the way how you write down in your memory. It's the way how you encode and decode. It's the way that that determines if something in the future or in the present or in the past. That's what you do with submodalities, but you don't know. You're not aware of it.
Yeah.
The only moment you are aware, if you ask somewhere, where would you locate your future? If you had to point to your future, I think 99% of the people would say my future is there, ahead
Yeah,
from
most people, yeah, most of our clients would say that it's in their right side mostly.
a
But
little bit
yeah.
to the constructed side, visual
Mhm.
constructed. And where is your past? That is the left side behind, because left side is remembered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There are some cases that some left-handed people would put it
yeah, yeah,
differently.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really a good thing for me when a person that I'm talking to would say that their past is like just in front of them. It's really a weird case, but some really are at the back or
Yeah,
at the far left side.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's some modalities. But most people, yeah, they are not aware of it. And
Mhm.
NLP makes you aware of all those patterns that you are, in fact, already doing since the moment you were born. Yeah, I'm sometimes also start like this in this team building the second day. I was telling about towards and away from.
Mhm.
I gave them some, how did I call it? To look for it in the book. I gave them four keys to, let's hear more. The drive to excellence is the key to your future. That's the title. So I gave them keys
Mhm.
in which way they can reach excellence. And one of the keys is take care or that you have a towards. What do you really want? Most people, if you ask them, what do you want? They start to tell you a long story about what they don't want. And even if you have clients, also individual or in a group, if you ask, what do you want? Yeah. And you know, I don't want, and then they start to talk about a complaint. Something they don't want. They don't want. And you really have to slowly, also with language things, language programs, meta model, with Milton model, find out and make your client aware, what does he want? Because you're always telling me where you want to go away from. And if you want to help yourself, because you have to help yourself, I can only guide you a little bit if I am your coach. I cannot help you. I can only coach you. I can only give you a direction. I can give you tips. That's it. But you have to do it yourself. So I said, you have now to find out, what do you want? What is it what you want? Because there's a saying, and the saying is, what is it? Energy flows where attention goes. And if your attention is on your away from, then you get more and more and more of that what you want to get rid of. And people are not aware of that. Most people, especially when they have a problem, they are more and more busy with their problems and not with the solution, or not with what they want. In fact, sometimes they even don't know what they want.
Yeah, usually when we ask this question, it takes some time to actually give for people to actually give an answer for this.
Yeah.
As I'm hearing from you, the question is, of course, what do you want? But as we play with the words that we're using, the question that you said earlier is, what do you really want? Which pushes it deeper. Yeah. So the question gets harder by just adding really. Yeah, it's really fun with playing with the questions to direct their attention. Yeah.
And I explained this in the last yesterday it was in a team building. To make it very specific, I said, in fact, this already starts on the first or the second day after you are born, because after that you will get hungry, but you only feel hungry. There is no language, there are still no thoughts, but you pain. It's something like, you need food, or so. You don't know what you need, but you feel not well, so you start to cry. And by crying, your mother comes to you and she will feed you. And after you have feed, you're satisfied, and there is lust. It's from pain to lust, in fact. Pain to satisfaction. Pain to, however you name that. And that's, in fact, the drive. It's away from and towards.
Okay. Yeah, I got it.
And that's in fact, for me, as I explained it, as a pyramid upside down. It's only that away from and towards, and that grows. That's the beginning of your towards and away from.
Okay,
and after that, the second key that I give is, now you have to make an outcome of your towards. You have to make it specific, where, when, etc. Anyway, then you have to take action. And when you take action, it means more you have to make to decide what will be your first step, when will be your first step, where will be your first step, when will you reach your outcome. Anyway, you know about the outcome, etc., etc. And after that, what kind of resources are you going to use? Anyway, I had a resource in this team building, and it was an accumulation of an anchoring method, timeline, which I did in 2 days. And then at the end of at the second day, I made combination exercise of all the
things that they've learned for
all
the
the
2 days.
techniques we learned, and it was with a ring of fire, and then cell of anchor, and then
Ring of fire, like
immersion,
it's like a circle of excellence. Yeah.
the circle of
Nice.
excellence. Yeah, and then at the end, self anchor together with a yes or whatever. I said, yeah, and that's also a little bit Milton-like. He said, yeah, everyone knows that a word has a lot. Words have lots of power.
Yeah.
And then I make it of it, and everyone takes that. I said, yeah, especially when your word is secret. Secret words have a lot of power. You don't have to say it, only in your mind, because for your brains it makes no difference if you do it in real
Or
or
do it.
your mind.
It's in your.
Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, so some of them indeed have a secret word, and then the final step is then that they everything what they've learned, they anchor and a word, finger anchor, like this, or 3 fingers.
Yeah, we could yeah, hi guys, so we'll be talking more about discussing what anchors are later. Yeah, we're just talking and having our stories here, but we'll go deep later. We'll explain how it works, of course. And yeah, how was the two it was 2 days, so like a whole day thing. It's how do you manage your energy throughout the training?
My energy,
Yeah.
well, I have energy enough. The point is, in a training, I'm uptime. I'm all the time uptime. It's like you are putting away when you're tired.
Hmm.
You don't eat too much.
Yeah.
You eat too much, you will fall out. But drink water.
Yeah.
Try to sleep good in the night, and you can manage. But after the training, you fall. Yeah, you are very tired.
Yeah, I usually get sick sometimes.
Yeah,
Too much of course you're managing the energy throughout the training as a trainer, as a teacher. And you want to answer to the best of you can,
yeah,
to the best of your capabilities, and it's really a good feeling. And but of course after the training, it's really like you're super drained.
yeah. You're completely empty. Yeah, yeah. That's also how it feels. I told my wife is also there.
Mhm.
She did a practitioner also, and
Oh.
she is also assisting me. So I'm not doing it alone, by the way. This I have, you know him, Orvin.
Mm.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Isaac.
Yeah,
He's
he added me, he messaged me. Yeah,
yeah,
that's why we're connected right now.
yeah. I connected for via him. Yeah. Yeah, he was also there to assist, and my wife is
Hmm.
assisting. And when they are doing exercises,
Hmm.
I slow down a little bit, and I walk around, but I let them do more of the helping, and they can do that because I prepare them very well.
Yeah,
I let them do all the exercises here in the house and a few times, and so they know the structure of the exercises very well.
yeah. It's very important that also there's a practitioner looking out for the students, of course, so that they could be sure that they're experiencing the the, the things correctly, right?
Yeah,
So, in regards to okay, we could probably go with our topic, because one thing that I've noticed, this is something that I've noticed talking to a lot of practitioners here and there.
yeah,
Um, all of us have different definitions of NLP,
yeah.
and that's fun. That's really fun. That's really fun to know, because yeah, for
But
some.
maybe it has to do that maybe we also have all other outcomes for
Yeah, yeah.
and other values. And I think your values, they will determine what
Hmm.
your definition of NLP is. What do you want to do with NLP?
Hmm.
And I think you adapt your definition to what you want to do, to your outcome.
I could 100% agree with that. Yeah, of course. Because for some, as I said, a lot of other trainers that I've been talking to are mostly focused on stress, therapy, and motivation.
Yeah.
For me, I'm more of I've seen NLP through the eyes of my mentors, and it's more of a process of excellence. It's
Sorry,
more of,
process
yeah,
of.
excellence. Yeah, it's more of a
Yeah.
process of excellence, in where you get to understand how a skill works, or a behavior works. So with NLP, as you go deeper with the learnings of NLP, at first it's just, you could see it as language, something that you could use on, like, on communication. But as you go deeper, you get to understand people more, and you get to live life easier.
Yeah, it's what I also explain to my students.
Mm.
It's in the beginning you are just learning tools, you're learning skills, but especially when you do the master. I'm planning a master if I have enough students for it next year,
Mm.
2020. Because it's for me also a lot of work because I have very nice Dutch manuals
Mm.
and I have them to translate them complete. It's quite a work to put everything in English.
Mm.
So, so that will be in next year, 2021. But I always tell them in the beginning it's strange and you learn patterns. The way you ask things, sometimes it feels strange because you are not used to it, and you feel like you're doing manipulating, and it's also complicated sometimes because you have to make rapport. So and then you have to look at the eye movements
Yeah.
and other cues and the respiration to match the respiration and then you have to listen to the predicates. What is in visual, more auditive, kinesthetic, and it's very complicated in the beginning
Yeah,
because
of course.
in the beginning it's like playing piano with one hand, okay, the other hand, okay, but if you have two hands, this you have to play piano and both hands are doing different things. That makes it complicated, more complicated. But after a while, you get used to it, and you can do more skills at one time.
Hmm.
Becomes one. So, but I tell them after a while, if you really continue to use NLP, especially thinking about values, what is important for people, what's important for yourself,
Hmm.
it becomes a way of life. NLP,
Yeah, NLP is a way of life.
NLP is a way of life. NLP is not something you do, but it's when you do it long and you do also the master, and I am also the postmaster. Postmaster is more about systems, family systems.
Mm.
Ken Wilber is the one who combines all kind of psychology together in one book. And spiral dynamics. I like spiral dynamics very much. That's from Graves. It's also about it's all about systems in individuals, but also systems in companies, system in societies, in countries, and you can use it everywhere.
Yeah, it's very good for what you're doing right now, because as I see, what you love doing is training, and in training, of course, more or less the clients would be companies, and in companies there are systems in place that they don't know that they are even in place to begin with,
Yeah,
right? So as with your expertise, it really plays a big role in helping the company fix their issues, because the issues more or less comes from their system,
if they
right?
even realize that there is a system. Yeah,
Super, super. I'm really ecstatic to actually. Yeah, I haven't studied systems yet. To be honest, I'll be looking into it. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a general understanding, probably unconsciously because of how I view things. But yeah, it's easy. It's easy for learning, as we could all agree with this, that if you could put a name to it,
Yeah.
right? You have a connection to it. You can easily access it.
Yeah. And give it labels.
Yeah, labels like
Labels.
yeah, anchors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, in regards to NLP, yeah, that we have lots and lots of definitions for it. But
Yeah.
for if you guys watching right now, if you would search about NLP online, of course, NLP is neuro linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Okay, that's but what we're saying is we have different definitions because of our backgrounds and where we apply it. We get to learn more about it. That's why we have different
Yeah.
definitions.
I think for people who use it for sales,
Mm-hmm.
selling, like real estate or whatever, communication will be. NLP is about communication.
Mm-hmm.
It's about meta. There was something also we will talk about meta and Milton.
Mm-hmm.
Meta is especially meant is down chunking is what what is the wish of your client
Mm-hmm.
to find out what does he want. That's what you do in a meta model. What is he leaving away in his request for what he wants? Find out. Milton model is more for the sake of the seller. How do you bring your seller, your buyer, I mean, your buyer, in a mood to buy something?
More on Milton. It's more on as Milton Erickson is really one of the is the greatest hypnotist of all time. I mean, he's really good with his words, and studying some of his work. One hypnotist, one of the hypnotists that I look up to, Igor Ledohosky, works with something that he calls mind bending language. You've heard of it?
Well, I can understand mind-bending language. I think what he means is what Milton is using,
Mm-hmm.
what in a Milton model is, you leave room in a Milton model
Mm-hmm.
for your subject, for your client, for the one you're talking with, to make his own fantasy,
Yeah.
his own ideas. You give not really a direction about how he has to imagine something. Like when you say, close your eyes and imagine you're walking through a forest. At that moment, a person will close his eyes and starts to walk through his imaginary forest.
Of course, yeah.
And if you then suddenly say, you see there the red flowers and the blue flowers on the other side, and you are disturbing his fantasy. At that moment, you're not talking in Milton anymore. You're suddenly you're going down chunking. You're going in meta.
You're going meta.
Yeah, then you go meta by exactly tell what he has to see. And he will resist a person when he is not imagining blue and red flowers, but he is thinking about that there are no flowers at all because there is a mist over the ground, a mysterious mist. Then he will feel resistance. He will not, he will think, I don't want to follow your story because my story I have in my mind, I like much more because I like forests where there's a mysterious mist over the ground. And that's the magic effect of Milton. And for sales, I can give an example how it works. If you want to bring someone in the mood that he will buy something or is more willing to buy something or to think about it, is something like can you still remember the time when you saw something that you really wanted to buy? At that moment, you're not talking about what he wants to buy, about how he was feeling, only the feeling. You bring him back, and then he will go out. If you say that, he will go to that feeling. He will allow that feeling again. That's an inner state. And if you are good with anchoring, you can anchor that state. And you can bring it back at the moment you want. That's how you use Milton. Another way of Milton language is with children. Children always, if you have a shed where they have to put a bicycle in the night, if you say directly to them, let's say the kid is John, say, John, put your bicycle inside. Now I'm busy with something. If you say to them, John, remember to close the door after you put your bicycle inside.
Remember, yeah.
Then they will do it. Then they will do it. Because there is no resistance against closing the doors.
It's really powerful with how you phrase things and how you say it. It's not just by changing the words, it's also by how you say it. That's really fascinating. That's one thing that still fascinates me with languaging. It's really good.
And that's also a thing that what we were talking in the beginning is NLP is making you aware of patterns, also in language, that you are already using, but you don't know. But one time you know, you can start to use these patterns when you want to.
Yes. That is one thing that I'm probably we could share this with our viewers right now. It's really about when you go to practice more, you become a very, very good listener.
Indeed.
Yeah, because in regards to if you guys are applying NLP for communication purposes, the resources that you would need is with the person that you're talking to. Yeah, you just have to harness it and ask. We study meta models. We'll talk about it more, so that when you get to understand it, you could easily get information from your clients. Yeah,
because that's the information you need. If you want to sell things, you have to know what's important for your client, what are his values, and you can only find out when you listen. And after that, you listen again. And it was with JB Smart.
I love Jamie Smart.
He's very good. Yeah. I have some of this seminars of him, and he said, yeah. And then the first thing is you have to listen, and after you have listened, then you listen again, and after that, you keep on listening and listening
and listening.
Yeah.
I started NLP. You started 1990s. I started like 2010, and one of the first really mentors that I could look up to in the internet was Jamie Smart. I started researching, going down the rabbit hole by watching him.
Yeah, he's very good. I also I don't know the titles anymore of this. It were workshops he was doing with groups, and he is just putting them online, or you can download them. A friend gave them also to me, and every time, you have to listen many times. Also write down things. What is he doing? It's very good.
Yeah, and one good thing with NLP is modeling. So if the first time you watch it, you just hear one thing, and then you watch it again, you see it differently. You watch it again, and you learn another thing. It's really fun.
Yeah, every time you learn more.
Yeah,
when you also like very much. I use him also in the practitioner, but it's also for fun. Is a Darren Brown.
Oh yeah, Darren Brown, the mentalist. Yeah, I hypnosis. I mean, his languaging is really subtle and nice, and how he presents himself is like very mystical and magical, you know. But he says, of course, I'm just doing this. This is purely non metaphysical. Everything that I'm doing is based on persuasion techniques, science,
And
psychology.
also and cheating, eh? He is cheating.
Well, it's for magic. If you understand NLP languaging, and you can easily work with hypnosis also. It really helps a lot with presentation.
Yeah.
It really helps a lot. Yeah. So going back to our topics. Okay, let's work with. Hi guys. Who's to those watching right now? Feel free to comment if you have any questions for us. We'd be glad to talk about it. We'd be glad to assist you with your questions. Even if you have a problem, of course, would you be glad to help some of our viewers if they have problems?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah. If because most of the time we have some questions coming from our viewers that I'm stressed right now. I need help about this. Yeah, we could probably take some of those questions. That'd be fine, right? Okay, so let's go on with our topic for today. Of course, let's talk about anchoring. I mean, what is anchoring?
Now, anchoring, in my definition, is anchoring is connecting a stimulus, an external stimulus or trigger, with an inner state. And that's also one of the things I directly teach my students, that the only thing you can anchor is an inner state, is an emotion, an inner state, a mood. You cannot anchor a thought or so. That's completely impossible. You can also not anchor a behavior. The only thing you can anchor is an inner state, and the inner state, once you have this inner state, that can produce a thought, or you can be better in any kind of behaviors. And you anchor, for example, one of the anchor methods is reclaim personal history. Reclaim personal history is that you go back in your past and that you find resourceful moments, resourceful events, moments that you maybe were a winner, or maybe your graduation, or that you a moment after you had a very good exam, or for musicians that you had a very successful performance that brings you in a very resourceful mood. If you go back, if you associate with it, if you are really there again, if you anchor that, and anchor means that can in different ways. You can do this with a floor anchor, with a piece of paper on the ground. You can give it a name like performance or graduation or exam. And the moment a person is completely associated with this moment, you let him step on this floor anchor. And after a while, you let him step off. And then you let him step on the paper again. And every time when you do this, the anchor works stronger. It goes fast. It's every time it goes faster to go in this resourceful inner state. You can also anchor, learn if it's only a single anchor. You can do this with touch between your thumb and your index finger, first finger. Yeah, two fingers you can also. And you just say, of calibrate. Calibrate means that the programmer is doing that. When someone is completely in his inner state, you can see it. That, for example, his respiration will be deeper. Maybe the color of the skin will change a little bit rose or red, or maybe there are some other things you can see that proves that someone really is in this internal state. Then you say to him, now put your finger and your thumb together. You keep it on for 10 seconds and then let it go. Then you tell him some joke to get him out of this internal state, break state. And then, okay, do it now again. And when you touch, when you fire your anchor, you go directly to this internal state. And you repeat this. You repeat it 4, 5, 6 times.
So
it goes automatically. And what's very important after that is what I always tell also in the trainings is an anchor only keeps on working when you use it. If you, what I saw on YouTube, a movie, I saw it also in a very good way in The Rabbit Hole. It's how's the title? What the bleep do we know? What the bleep do we know? It's already quite old, but you can see what happens in the brain when you are learning something, a pattern, and that can be anything. That in the beginning, the first day you're doing something, there are only a few neurons in your brain that are connected. If you do it a second time, there will be another few neurons that will also be connected in your brain. After that, more. And every time you do the same pattern, it will be more and more and more until you can compare it with in the beginning. It's like the pattern is going on a path of sand. You know, it's very slowly with rocks on it and go slowly. And when you keep on doing this, after a while, it will be like a small road with some stones on it to walk already easier. Then it will be more like a small road where you can ride with your bicycle or your motorcycle. And then it will be like a highway here in the Philippines, in Davao. And when you keep on doing this, it will be like a highway in Germany. A highway in Germany means 6 lanes one side, 6 lanes the other side, and you drive 160 kilometers per hour from one side of Germany to the other side of Germany.
That's super nice, you know. Usually highways here are usually 2 lanes.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's still allowed to drive 160 in Germany. But I have been a few times from the Netherlands going to Poland. And then you have to indeed going from the west to the east in Germany. And it's indeed, so the moment you are over the border, it's 140, 150, 160.
That's super fast. The fastest I've got was like 140. That's super fast already.
Yeah, but it's very nice driving, and it's very safe, in fact. But anyway, that's how anchoring works. The more you use them, the better they work. If you don't use an anchor, it will go away.
Yeah. So to recap, okay. It would be you could do your anchors at home even if there are no practitioners helping you out. As we've discussed, you could write in a piece of paper, for example, what you want to anchor is a state of confidence. So you could write confidence on a piece of paper, put it down on the floor, visualize. Okay, that's the one thing that we want. Go back to a moment in time in where when was the last time you really felt confident? Go back to that time, step on it, and then step out. Right?
Yeah.
Then step in again, step out. You got to do it and visualize slowly. Make sure that you're actually seeing, feeling, hearing the experience and when we were last confident, so that you could anchor it. Yeah.
And feel it. So feel it. That's very important.
Yeah. Feel it.
Yeah.
And one thing that I loved with how you taught or how you teach anchoring is this one. I mean, this is something that I usually help with my clients also by pinching the pointer and the thumb. It's a very strong thing. You could anchor not just confidence. Usually, I anchor focus here
Yeah.
when they do this, or instant happiness. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. Yeah. So, guys, if you have any questions in regards to anchoring, yeah, feel free to comment. Yeah, our next topic would be submodalities. Yeah,
Modalities.
yeah,
Yeah,
submodalities.
yeah, we already were talking a little bit about modalities.
Mm-hmm,
By my experience with this principal, this head of the school,
mm-hmm,
I start about, that was my discovering that NLP really was something I want to learn. And yeah, submodalities. So modalities, yeah, are the way you give meaning to inner pictures or inner experiences. For me, for example, if I think about my grandmother, I think of her black and white.
mm.
My inner experience is black and white. And I also see her in a frame. And maybe it has something to do that in the time that there were pictures taken of my grandmother, and most of the time it was my father or family with a simple camera, and it was in black and white pictures. And most of the time it were pictures that were in a frame on the cabinet, and maybe that's the reason why. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's something old. For me, I seem to see it in black and white. And for other persons, it can be very different. Yeah, it's also what I used to do. This is a very funny example. In classes, when I'm teaching music at the end of the year, students don't want to learn anymore, and it's too warm. It's too warm in Holland. Then I say, okay, let's have some fun. I said to someone, I said, this is the right. Now thinking if I'm doing the right example. Yeah, I think so. No, that's more another example. But I tell later. Submodalities. We were at submodalities.
Yeah.
If you have two persons, one you like and one you of two situations. One situation that you are resourceful, that was a good event for you, and you have another situation that you feel you failed or not so nice memory. What you can do is make a frame, a contrast frame of those situations. First, that are lists you have. I find an example here. I think so. I have a simple example somewhere. This is here. It's just a piece of paper, a residue. I have it here. Wait. Okay. I don't know. Ah, there is it. You see?
Yeah. So
they can see it. It's a list. People have to fill in your client, and the question is, okay, now close your eyes, go to the positive memory. What do you see? Is it a movie or do you see a picture? Is it in color or black and white? Is it? Oh yeah, is it near you, close near you, or is it more far away? Then what's the position? Etc. etc. Even is it clear or vague? Is it sharp or more blurred? And then maybe there is some also things that you hear. There's also a list about auditive. You can say, is the sound that you hear, is it loud or is it soft? Is it sharp or more bass, treble or bass? Mono or stereo, etc. You give qualities to what you hear, to what you see, and what you feel. Now, you do this with both situations, with a positive situation and a negative situation. Now, then you are going to find out if I now change the submodalities of the negative situation that are different from the positive if I change them. So if a bad situation is a picture and a good situation is a movie, then I say, okay, now make from this picture, make a movie of it. What happens now? Is it feeling better or worse? And if it's feeling better, okay, then you write down, movie is better. You say, bring it now back again to the picture. Now we go to the next one. It was black and white, huh? Okay. Now make it color. Oh, no. Okay, no, it's worse. No, bring it directly back to black and white because color makes it only worse. You do this with all the submodalities and you try to find out which submodality really changed a bad situation or more the feeling about a bad situation for the better. And when you find it, you will find out that there is one submodality. If you change only that one, then
you can change everything.
Then the most of the others will also change. And that submodality is called the driving submodality. And that can be very helpful for someone if he knows that, because he can change the experience of a memory. I always tell you can never change the memory. The memory is there and you cannot change it anymore. But what you can change is the feeling.
The feeling, the attached feeling to that memory.
The impact, the impact of that emotion you can change.
And this what we're talking about, guys, is very, very strong. It's a very, very good technique to actually use for not just random things. These techniques, these understandings are actually used for trauma, for therapy. Yeah, right.
That's also what I learned in the practitioner. For example, fast phobia process.
Yeah, fast phobia cure.
Yeah. In fact, what you're doing is also playing with submodalities, of course. A movie, turn it backwards, turn it forwards. You can change all kinds of submodalities. If you're afraid of spiders, is it close or is it far? Try to play with it. There's even in Holland, someone, and he the word for spider in Holland is spin. S-P-I-N, spin.
Spin. Yeah.
And what he say, the impact when you see a spider and directly you say, oh, it's a spin. But if you say that's a nips, N-I-P-S, you just turn around the word, because the word nips has no emotions. If it really is a modality, I don't know, but you change it. I think you can compare it with a submodality. You give it another label.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, I agree with that. For our friends watching, we with NLP, it's most of the people that we work with, our clients have usually really hard, what we call this, negative self-talk. So with negative self-talk, you're doing self-sabotage. And it's where you say, I can't do this. I'm stupid. I can't go to places. I can't do that. You know that most of those things. What we're talking about right now is, if you were to try it now, okay, do it now. I won't say try it now. If you could do it now, visualize where that voice is coming from. Where do you hear it?
Yeah.
Left side, right side, at the back. And one of the funniest questions that I usually ask is, whose voice is it? Because sometimes it's even not their voice. It's their parents' voice, their mom's voice. Yeah. So if you could play with submodalities, it could easily change how your perception on things, mostly if you have really strong negative self-talk, you could work with it instantly with these understanding,
These things,
right?
yeah, yeah. You can also do this with food. If you are if you are using too much fast food,
Oh
chips,
yeah.
things like that, is especially when I think when once you know this, it's harder because you're thinking about it. But if you have a subject who knows nothing about NLP, and
Uh-huh.
you just ask, now think about chips, and people close out chips, and think, if you see it, where do you see it? Can you point for me where your bag of chips is, or your bowl with peanuts or fries or whatever? Where is it? So that's what you like very much. It's there. And now I want something you really don't like. Can you tell me something you really don't like? Yeah, lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce. Yeah, yeah. Mostly vegetables. Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, okay, now where do you see this in your mind?
Mhm.
Probably it will be on the other side or somewhere. And they can say, okay, now let's do something. Take now in your mind this bag of chips and bring it slowly to the place where your vegetables are, and bring the vegetables to the place where the chips are, what you like, and click it there, like you click the top on a Tupperware, like that. Click it, and then just let it go. And then in the next session or the next talk, you go, how did it go? Did it change anything? There's a big chance that, yeah, no, I could leave it. It's I didn't eat chips anymore, and I eat some more vegetables.
Mostly. Have you done smoking? Yeah, this is actually the specific thing that you could do for smoking.
Smoking, yeah,
Swish.
drinking,
Yeah, a
yeah.
simple swish pattern
It's
could
some kind
actually
of
do
Swiss
wonders. Yeah,
pattern. Yeah,
it
yeah,
could really do wonders. Oh, so with you doing swish, you actually add a personal preference for me also is to add a sound to it, or a click, or yeah,
yeah.
something like that.
I have a very good one. I did in the practitioner. I did Swiss pattern
Mm.
in the original way. Also with a step. Every time when you do the swish, you do one step ahead, one step ahead. But there was a woman, and she said, yeah, I don't say it. So I said, I change it. I said aloud, may I change it? How did you change it? She said, I say zoom. That's much better because it's exactly what happens, because it's the small picture in the
Yeah,
corner.
going to big. Yeah.
Zoom. So I changed that in my practitioner manual. I made zoom of it because that's much easier.
How as we've talked earlier, you also watch Darren Brown. I mean, his swish patterns is really cool. There's this one thing and where he actually changed the color, the how this woman saw color. He did a quick swish pattern routine, and wow, it's really amazing. I'll link it to you later after this.
Yeah, it's
After this.
okay. I see a lot of him, but also a lot of him that you really don't understand. Did you
Yeah.
see the staring contest?
Oh, yeah, I haven't. I
Then
haven't.
he's somewhere, and then people with one person he is taking the hand. I'm not sure if he's what he's saying then, but he's doing the how do you call this? The handshaking,
Is this the part in where he hypnotized the person?
yeah, I think it's he's doing it so quick. He's
Yeah,
doing it.
his inductions are really fast.
Yeah,
Speed inductions, handshake inductions.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's so fast with it, and I did. There was one thing, one movie of him, and he is in some kind of carousel, and then they have to make a drawing of him, of they have to make a drawing,
Mm.
and there is some religion background, and I completely analyzed what was happening.
It's fun.
I wrote down everything.
You could break down everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wrote down everything, and I find out they were almost drawing the same drawing, and it was like an angel, because there was this this round above the head, it was like a cape, and suddenly I understand, because it was exactly how Darren Brown was looking. Darren Brown had a microphone here. Yeah, he had a long cape, a long jacket. They were in the mood because they were talking about religion, and it's so good how he's doing it. But you only can find out when you really analyze what's happening now. And there are more. Yeah.
One thing good with his theatrics in regards to doing hypnosis and some NLP technology on his show is by his way of actually selecting a client or a target. Yeah, he's really good with that. He does lots of tests. He does lots of inductions to test if the client or the victim is actually highly suggestible. That's one thing.
Of course, of course. I think for each item he makes, yeah, you see only one or two, but in fact he's trying this with 20 or 25 persons.
Yeah,
and all the others he don't use. There's also one other. There's also, I did try it too. There's a woman. She's walking on the stairs up on a building, and then he's doing some things with her. I also wrote it down somewhere, but I don't know where. But he is also doing this very fast talk in some kind of interruption method, handshake, or and then he let the woman walk, and then he does this with his hand, and the woman stops to walk.
That's the foot. That's what we call stuck in hypnosis. It was really quick. I mean, probably he's done it with a lot of other people, but of course this person is actually carrying some stuff, and the mind was so busy that when he said, "Boom, stuck." I mean, he said something. He said something.
No, he's not saying anything. He is just only. But it's programmed. She stops exactly on the spot where he was programming her. So it was already programmed. In fact, this hand gesture is only for the movie.
Wow. Okay.
Now, what he is doing then they go to the window, and then the woman. He says to the woman that you can do this too. Look outside, and when there is someone walking on the street, you only have to do this with your hand, and then the people will stop walking. There's someone walking on the street, and she's doing it, but I think this person was not part of the crew, so this person walks. And then the second one is walking on the street, and then Darren says, "Yeah, do it now." Hop. And the woman stops walking.
It's really fascinating. Yeah.
And she is so. But of course, that is part of the crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Going well, as we're running out of time, we have one more topic to talk about, which is Milton models. What is a Milton model?
A Milton model.
Yeah.
The Milton model is that's the modeling. Eh? It's coming from the word modeling. It's the modeling of the language that Milton was using.
Milton Erickson, the great hypnotist.
Yeah, Milton was when he was a young boy. Milton was partly paralyzed because he had this polio. I don't know how you call this polio. So he could not play outside. And he was always inside in the house and listening to conversations of people, of adult people. And he was just fascinating by what people could do. when they are talking with each other. And he learned that you can manipulate people with language. That's about of the history. Language, it's use of language patterns like embedded commands. Yeah.
I love that, and I love that, but that's another topic. Yeah, that's
the conversational hypnosis. In fact, what you're doing with Milton language is that you, by using non-specific language, you are skipping the conscious mind, and you are avoiding resistance of your clients. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how the Milton model came to be, and that's how it's used. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it's used. Yeah. And you can use it when you're selling things, but you can use it in the class. Some very good. We have very good example. If you are a boss and you want to do your employer something, you can say to him, it's literally, you have to post this letter to the complete address file of the employees before 5 p.m. Suppose he tells him that 10 minutes before 5 p.m. Yeah, that's a lot of work, and probably he will have resistance.
Yeah.
Then he can also say, I wonder if you can manage to post this letter to the complete address list, etc., etc. What he's using a verb of awareness. That's what to wonder. I wonder if you can, and then the question. And in fact, that's some kind of embedded command which you're giving. I have myself, I believe I one time used it to, when I was teaching, I was a very, very annoying boy in the class, and also lying. So I told him, I said, well, I think you realize now that I discover that every time when you tell me a lie, that you start to blink with your eyes.
and the boy couldn't blink.
They started right away to blink with his eyes.
or it could be also the opposite. I mean, he wouldn't blink anymore.
Yeah. It's even when I tell this as example in a group, that some people are feeling strange. It makes people feeling strange when you use Milton language in that way, because I think that you realize that I already know that you will blink with your eyes when you tell me a lie.
That's a super strong line, I realize that you already know.
Yeah.
The way you deliver it also, and putting emphasis to those specific words. That's how the magic works with understanding these stuff. Yeah.
And anyway, you can also use Milton for association. If you want someone to anchor someone, or that he is completely associated in a situation, to avoid specific words, then you say, be aware of what you see there, be aware of what you hear, feel what you feel, that kind of language, without telling what he sees, what he hears. That's also Milton language.
In regards to words that you specifically use, do you have some go-to scripts or phrases that you use most of the time? Because in regards to hypnosis, there are usually words like, for deepeners, the deeper you go, the better you feel, the better you feel, the deeper you go. Usually it really sounds good.
For hypnosis, what you can use is called the cause effects. The cause effects are, and the connecting words like while, because. It's like while you're sitting there, and you feel the back of the chair to your back and your feet on the ground while you're sitting in that way. It will make you feel more relaxed and more relaxed. And while you feel more relaxed, you can exhale deeper and inhale deeper and exhale softer, and then you can also work the end, and you sit there and you feel now that your eyes become more heavy.
Our viewers are getting sleepy.
And that's the way you can for hypnosis that works.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah. And other ways is, for example, like presuppositions. Continue to feel more relaxed. It means that you already was feeling relaxed. It's a presupposition. So yeah, that's the way how you use Milton in hypnosis.
Yeah, with that, as you said, NLP presuppositions, you could check it out.
Yeah.
You could check NLPDavao.com. I've linked the website also if you want to know more. We're a bit running out of time. I just checked. I didn't notice because we were talking a lot. But if for our viewers right now, do you have any upcoming workshops that you would or any services that you would want to promote or share with our viewers?
Yes. At this moment, there is a coming practitioner. I've scheduled a practitioner here in the Davao region for starting October 10, 11, 12, then also 17, 18. It's every time on a Thursday, a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday,
Okay.
Friday, Saturday. And then the last is 17, 54 is also the Sunday. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 10 days.
Okay.
That's the starting then. It's not yet on a website. I have to make it on a website. The exact schedule. Anyway, that's what now in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one, but that will be more. That's already a group.
Okay.
Not sure yet when. Yeah, that's where I'm working on. I'm also working on for next year for meditation combined with NLP.
Nice. That's nice. I'm doing meditation with a group here in Makati. When I'm available, I go there really every Thursday. It's really nice. It's really super nice. So if I'll message you up if ever I get to fly to Davao anytime soon. Let's meet up. That'll be nice.
Yeah, that would be very nice. Yeah. Because it will be you will be the second one who's really a trainer NLP who will be here in Davao.
No, I'm just there usually for my dad. My dad usually goes to Davao when he's here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
With his church is there in Davao, so when he flies in, usually I have to go to Davao to see him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if ever this year, I'll get in touch with you, of course, and Mara.
Nice. Yeah, will be very nice.
Yeah. This was a very, very good discussion. So guys watching, if you have any questions whatsoever, we'll be answering questions here in the comment section. So, or you could PM us. Where can we reach you?
They can reach me anyway on the website. There is a contact. I have also the Facebook page.
Okay.
The same name, NLP Davao.
Okay, nice.
With facebook.com/NLP Davao. I can give you email address, phone number.
Yeah.
That's on the website. I think I already changed because I transferred a month ago. Anyway, I have to adjust the website because I want to make a gallery of the team building. I have to make a gallery of the practitioner I did, and I have to add new information about the schedule, and so I have to work anyway on the website so I can check everything.
Social proof is really important.
There's a form they can fill in that goes directly to my email.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. So if you're in Mindanao, or if you're flying to Mindanao by probably October, feel free to message at nlpdavao.com. You could learn NLP. Okay, it's really good to learn with like-minded people. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so any message to our viewers before we go?
Yeah. Any message? Well, I think everyone should do NLP. That's just my message, because NLP teaches you to be responsible about yourself. It makes you responsible about your emotions, about your behavior, and about your moods. You learn a lot about yourself, especially about yourself. Also, that's where change begins. Change begins in yourself.
Agree.
You cannot change other people if you don't change.
Agree. That's one thing that we can control ourselves. For sure.
And one of my statements on my website is exactly. I have to really go to the website. Wait a moment. But I wanted to give it exactly here. It's here. No, it's not here. It's anyway something like awake the dragons inside of you, and this is really shameful.
It's okay. Awake the dragons inside of you. Yeah.
And teach them.
And teach them. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Because again, the dragons can be very violent and very wild, but teach them, tame them. So wait, I try to.
To those watching Game of Thrones, you could easily visualize how that looks like.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So wait on. I will try to find it exactly because it's very good.
Sure. Take your time.
Yeah.
So, guys, again, will be if you have any questions, it's perfectly easy to reach out. There's lots of topics that we've discussed. Let me just make a rundown of what we've discussed today. So we've worked with the definition of NLP. We've worked with NLP anchors. We've worked with some modalities, meta models, Milton models. We've shared some applications on how it's done. So after this live, of course, the live will be it's recorded, so you could just check in again on our personal Facebook pages, and you could rewatch this if you missed something. Okay, so did you get the quote already?
It's uploading. The website is uploaded. It will be there in many minutes. And maybe in some time or so we can maybe do a second batch and take other issues like the logic levels. That's one of my favorites also.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm a message away, so feel free to message me. I'll be. Oh, I could promote something. I forgot. I forgot I have to say something in regards to this coming Saturday. One of my good friends, Robert Dulce, will be doing an introduction to hypnotherapy, because they'll be having a hypnotherapy certification this coming September, and next August 7, one of my mentors, Karsten Kussner, will be talking about conversational hypnosis. He'll be coming back to the Philippines by next year, by June of 2020. He'll be back again, and that'll be nice because it's been a couple of years already since we've last met. So have you found it already?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
How to free and train the dragons inside of you. That's how to train and how to free and train the dragons inside of you. That's the subtitle of the website.
Yeah, so you could check, guys, again, you could check everything out. There's lots of information on the website. I've seen
Yeah.
it. I've checked, and there are presuppositions there. All Most of the almost all the NLP presuppositions is in your website. That's really
Yeah.
nice. Giving value to people. That's super nice. I love that. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate your time, sir. It's
It was
really
a,
a pleasure.
it was a pleasure for me too to do
Okay.
this, and I hope your listeners and viewers enjoyed it.
Course, of course. So again, guys,
Yeah.
good night. My name is 𝐷𝐽𝐤𝐲, and these are my thoughts. See you on the next episode of Inside the Mind of. Have a great night, guys. Good night. Bye.
Bye-bye.